Welcome back, guys. Another NVM vlog. This one on the MK7.5 hatchback for NVM460G upgrade. So that's the ceramic coated stage 3 turbo for the MK7 R range. That includes the MK7 GTR and the Cupra, Skoda, etc. The turbo on this actually failed for previous owner. It's only done 20,000 miles, so it's a perfect time to upgrade the system. The turbocharger, as you've probably seen, guys, before, ceramic coated to reduce heat, anodized impeller, comes with a muffler delete, inlet pipe, diverter valve with upgraded spring, and our friends at Forge Motorsports front mount intercooler, carbon fibre intake, and inlet pipe. So all of this is kind of the basis of the NVM460G package. We are still waiting on an exhaust system to be delivered, so we'll show you that later on in the vlog. Turbo back exhaust system, non-resonated and valved. So yeah, let's get it stripped down, fluids out, and get the turbo on. Turbo's out. I actually caught this one just before it blew. If you have a look, there's a lot of movement in and out of the actual turbo on itself, and it started whistling and howling, so that's a clear-cut sign that the turbo's on its way out. Looking at the top, you can clearly see the difference in size on the compressor. That's the OEM, and that's the NVM460G. Obviously it's already been built up, as it comes with the atmospheric diverter valve with our spring in there, muffler delete, and obviously ceramic coated. So we'll get this on the car, base run it on the dyno, map the box, and map the ECU on a base run, see how it performs, make sure everything's running as it should with new fluids in, and start mapping. Turbo's on, decat downpipes fitted, RS7 spark plugs in, Forge carbon intake is on, all the pipe X plumbed in, the intercooler's been fitted as well, Forge system, and the exhaust is there. So there's a full 3-inch exhaust system, full Scorpion, and it's what we advise. A 76mm bore is utmost necessary for kind of beyond 420 brake horsepower. We've already fitted the downpipe and the midsection. It's a beautiful system. The quality from Scorpion systems is amazing. It's a valve system, so it utilises the original valves, and it comes with 4/Daytonas, which is their signature tips. So let's get it on, road tested on the dyno, base run, and then start mapping. car's all strapped to the dyno, 2-wheel drive again, for all those who do wonder. Car's been checked over, ran a base run on there, just literally 1 bar of boost, just to check the turbo, the fluid, the boost pipes, charge pipes and stuff like that. Once that's all checked, we bring it back on the dyno and start a base run. So we'll just test it at kind of 1.2, 1.3 bar of boost, make sure it's responding how it should be, and then start adding the timing and the fueling required for around 450 to 460 brake horsepower, which is what the turbo is rated to. It is still on stock high pressure fuel pump and stock low pressure fuel pump, and that's why we developed this turbo as a direct replacement for the OEM. So I don't know if you guys heard that, but there was a boost cut, which is actually something that we put in when we're setting up the wastegate on here on the IS38 hybrids. It's important to get the voltage right, the actual static wastegate position in between 3.2 and 3.6 volts, and we kind of get it as best as possible so that we can bring boost in a little earlier with that preload. Any hybrid with a bigger wheel will have a bit of lag, but the way we reduce lag completely on our turbo setup is by adding that preload and not overshooting. So what we've done, we've actually added a bit too much turns to the actual wastegate, and we've put an overboost limiter in the ECU. Usually when we tune stage 3, we take off all limiters, boost cut limiters and correction factors, so that we can kind of manipulate the turbo how we would. But when we're base running it and we're getting the turbo to sit exactly where we sit and how we want it to sit, we leave some correction factors in there and some safety factors. So now we can dial back a bit of the preload, check the voltage again, run it up based upon the same base map and see what we hit. So that was better. So base run, IS38 hybrid, NVM460G. This is literally 1.2 bar of boost, and we're at 423 brake horsepower and about 500 newton meters. The actual turbo itself responds really well, and what we've tried to do as well, after adjusting the wastegate position, we've tried to force overboost. So we tried to force a condition by increasing the load on our dyno and kind of hitting the throttle hard to see if the turbo overshoots, and that's what reduces reliability, believe it or not, guys. If you can get that turbo to run a consistent boost pressure, you will always hit consistent brake pressure. Some people like a bit of overboost. We don't tune with overboost on, and kind of you try and manipulate that turbo as much as possible with the actual wastegate duty cycle to hit target. The guys who know these cars and these ECUs, obviously this is slightly different to most stage 3s out there because it's the DK 381, and that 7-speed box is a bit more difficult to tune, and you've probably seen in one of our other videos where we did a lot of calibrations on the road trying to get the 0 to 60 down as much as possible and that shift timing perfect. On the old 6-speed gearbox, believe it or not, we can get faster quarter miles, faster 0 to 60s with this setup. But we're just going to add a bit more boost and run it where we usually run it, between 1.7 and 1.8 bar, and see how it responds. I don't know if you guys can see there, that is 1.7 bar of boost, and we've dialed in as much ignition time as possible, closed the wastegate as soon as possible, and left a good torque limit in the ECU, not the TCU, in the ECU itself, and we were at 450 horsepower, which, to be fair, at this boost level is really healthy, considering it's about 19 degrees ambient in here and the intake temperatures are rising. So we're going to let it cool down, add a bit more time, a bit more boost, and see if we can get a final run. Then we'll start dialing in the gearbox and the shift points on the road. No two cars are the same, and believe it or not, the gearbox shift timing and shift position is key to a quick car. So guys, a record breaker for the NVM460G. Just managed 469 brake horsepower and 576 newton meters. Just get this up in a printable form. So yeah, 469.3 brake horsepower, 582 newton meters, which is actually a record for this turbo setup. It is still quite warm today, and based upon this kind of result, we're very happy where it sits. No overboost conditions, no kind of throttle stop, no ignition timing pull, and it just shows how good this system flows. Obviously, we have to say thanks to all the other bolt-ons that we've added to make this our package, which is the Forge Motorsport carbon intake, Scorpion downpipe, Forge intercooler, and obviously we changed the spark plugs as well. So yeah, really happy with where it's at. Just going to dial in the gearbox now, so we'll do some private road testing and get some draggy times for you guys, 0 to 60, 100 to 200s, full weight, full tank. We don't strip anything out for all our kind of our values, so yeah, we'll see what we can do. So I know you guys have seen this app before. It's called the Draggy app. It seems to be the internet standard at the moment for the performance of a vehicle. It's a 10 Hz refresh rate, GPS kind of timer. It's pretty accurate. It takes into account slope and stuff like that. So we're just on our way to Mexico. We'll do some timings and let you know how we get on. We did spend a bit more time actually changing the calibration on the TCU. The 7-speed box, as I said, no two cars are the same. Grip, tyre, whatever it is, we try and, you know, base the calibration on the car itself and how it is. So we've got a good shift time reduction, and we've got a good 0 to 60 as a base, so we'll do some timings and show you in a bit. So that's 100 to 200 in 8.3. Obviously 2 passengers, well, 1 passenger, 2 drive, 2 in the car, full weight, full tank. So nice little base run for the customer to better. So guys, that's a 0 to 60 in 3.3 seconds, which is pretty epic for a 7-speed box. The 6-speed, as I said, we'll probably do that in about 3.1 or 3.15. So yeah, overall really happy with the setup. These are all baselines for the customer to kind of better. The Draggy is one of them apps that gets quite, how do we say it, infectious and addictive. So we'll hand it over to the customer and see what he can do. So guys, after a bit more tweaking on the TCU box, we actually went out again and recorded a 3.2 and a 3.19 0 to 60. So it's bang on where we wanted it and where we were looking for, to be honest with you. Obviously the customer will pick it up and kind of continue this journey of 0 to 60, tyre pressure, weight, and all of that makes a difference. And like I said, we are full weight in the vehicle, all the trims still intact, and stock Pirelli tyres, with PS4S's, a bit more tyre pressure and the interior stripped out. That could easily be a 3.1 or 3.05 flat. So really happy with that again. So yeah, catch you guys in the next one.